What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Ergo, and today we're here with my new Saturn Sky Redline, and we're going to troubleshoot the check engine light that I bought it with. So let's hop inside. Alright, so earlier today while I was driving, I hooked up my Wi-Fi OBD2 scanner. It's the LM327 one we always talk about. And fired up dash command. And let me grab the codes for you guys. This is what we came up with here. The check engine light has been on the entire trip home. And I assumed it was an emissions code, but it's not. It is right there. If you can see that, it's P0010 and P0011, which is A camshaft position actuator circuit open bank 1, and 11 is A camshaft position timing over advanced or system performance bank 1. So I left those codes alone, did a little bit of research, found out the variable valve timing solenoids actually fail quite a bit on these engines. So I called O'Reilly's, told them to hold the part for me, the intake solenoid. Let's run over there and get it. Hey Siri, open the garage.
Okay, on it.
What's up, sir?
What's going on?
Same old same, not gonna help you.
No, you got the magic.
Yeah, it's somewhere around here. I forgot where I put. He did it that well. Oh, did you put it up? I haven't touched it.
So this is the part for the intake side. The dormant part is 917215. You can see it says VVT solenoid. And let's go get this thing changed. All right, thanks guys.
See you later.
Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and pop the plastic cover off the top of the engine here. I'm going to assume it just lifts off like most of them do. And of course it does. Probably have 4 little points where it's hooked on. There we go. Got the cover off. And under this blanket right here, these are the actuator solenoids. So this solenoid right here should be the one that we're dealing with. I think that's the intake side. So I decided to just go ahead and take the blanket off. I went ahead and unhooked all the coil pack connectors. They're very easy. You just squeeze right there at the back, pull them off. They come off perfectly. These connectors are very well made. The only ones I need to pull still are the solenoids themselves. And I decided to pull the blanket just because I can avoid any contamination or dirt falling into the solenoid housings down in the cylinder head. So let me show you how to get the connectors off these solenoids themselves. So I went ahead and grabbed a small strip bit screwdriver, and now we need to remove the gray retainers that keep the harness connectors on the solenoids. So we're gonna push in on the front right here. Hopefully you can see this. We're gonna take that and just push right there. And then with my remaining finger, I got it, I think. Oh, I did not get it. Let me put the camera down so I can get it. There's one. And here comes the second one. There we go. Both of those are off. Now to remove the connectors from the solenoids themselves, we'll just push on the tab and give it a little wiggle, and they will come right off as well. It looks like these ones may have already been replaced once. Now everything should be free. I went ahead and lifted off these retainers for those hoses right there. You just lift them out and set them to the side. No problem at all. And the blanket is out. That was a lot of fun. All right, so other than a small screwdriver, I think the only thing you need is a 10mm, and you'll probably want an extension because you do have to get down in here to get to the bolt on the solenoid. We'll go ahead and crack that loose. It doesn't need to be very tight, and it wasn't very tight here. Back the bolt all the way out. And the bolt is free. And then we'll just wiggle this thing. Wow, got it. There's a little bit of oil. See if I can drip it all back down into its hole. Some oil will definitely come out of the solenoids. Oh, this might have been a stock one. It looks pretty old. And I think the new one, it looks like the exhaust one's been replaced and the intake one is stock. So we'll let this go drain into my oil pan here. All right, Amberghini, will you hand me that box? Thank you. This is our new intake camshaft actuator solenoid. And the other tool you'll need is something to cut this open, because it's like hermetically sealed, or at least vacuum sealed in here. And it comes with the bolt already in there, along with the bushing and everything like that. So you don't have to do anything. The O-ring's on there. All you need to do is slide the new one on. Just moving a little piece of dirt out of the way. All right, so now we're sliding the new solenoid in. Just give it a little wiggle. So the new bolt that they give you is not a 10, and I want to use the factory fastener because it is a 10. So I'm going to put this little bushing back on the bolt that helps line everything up, and then I'll slide that back down in there. It's easier to work on if the bolts are the same, and basically everything on the engine's a 10, so it might as well stay on there as a 10. You don't need to bear down on this or anything, just it's, you know, finger tight right there. As tight as it needs to be. Now all that's left is I'm gonna wipe some things down, put the blanket back on, and let's put the cover back on and go drive it. Putting this blanket back on, or giant piece of felt, or noise isolation thing, whatever it is here, and we're almost there. There's a lot of work to get this thing worked back on where it belongs. Go ahead and put the wiring harness tree back down in there. You want to be very careful here around the oil fill to not drop any dirt in there. I've tried to make sure all my movements were very limited in this area. And now we can put the cap back. Also, I vacuumed the blanket off to make sure there was no contaminants or dirt that were gonna fall into the hole here. Okay, I think everything's ready. Go ahead and plug the coil packs back in. Trying not to break anything, obviously. There we go, and now for our camshaft solenoids. Those are in. Now we'll put back the retaining clips, make sure they don't come out. This one was in this one. Here's our nice big plastic engine cover. I put these things back because why not? It's better than losing them and then not having it when you go try to sell the car. So, I'm pretty sure we're good here. Amber, you ready to go drive this thing? Mm-hmm. Such a fun hood to shut. At least it opens the right direction. There we go. Amber's driving while I try to get dash command set up. It's communicating with the code reader over there. We'll clear the codes, and I assume that we won't see it again.
Good, I've been waiting to do this in the car.
What? Rip through the neighborhood?
Yes.
Looks like the check engine light's gone. Amber's gonna whip it around here.
I just want to have my window down because I can barely see out these windows.
I know, the windows, Zach said they're 5% tint, and you definitely cannot see anything out of this car. Got all of our stats here in dash command. I love the way dash command looks. I know a lot of people say use torque, but you can see all the fuel trims. This is a fun one, the fuel rail pressure from the direct injection system. I think we succeeded at fixing our P0010 and our P0011. Everything seems to be working great. It's running perfectly. And yeah, the pull felt nice and strong. We've been going hard on this car. It's only the third day of owning it. And I washed it twice yesterday. I washed it in the morning. I washed it again at Brian's, and we got all the heavy brake dust spots and everything off those chrome wheels. That was a lot of work. And then we brought it back, and I grabbed some Honda Shinetsu grease, and I rubbed down every single rubber seal to restore them. You know, you just cover your hands in it, rub it in, and then just go over every seal until it's nice and soft again and supple. That should help them seal, stop some wind noise, and it also stops any squeaks with top seals and things like that. Corvettes are notorious for it. I think the S2000 as well. But the Corvette, you know, the frame shakes around the target top, and it just kind of grinds on the seals, and it makes a lot of noise. Rub them down with some Shinetsu grease, fixes that. Then I detailed everything a little bit more, kept detailing the car, glass, interior glass, because it has a new windshield as well. I forgot about that. And then what else? Oh yeah, we bled the brakes yesterday because the brake fluid looked like it had never been changed. It was as black as brake fluid could be. So we pulled all the old fluid out and bled them, put a bunch of .4 synthetic in instead of the .3 that I'm sure was in there. So we're making good progress on this car. All right, what do you think?
It's probably my favorite thing to drive right now. I'm gonna steal it from you for sure.
Well, you already stole the Miata, so I don't know how you're gonna have 2 manual roadsters sitting around.
I'm gonna be like convertible queen.
Yeah, you have your house is just full of 2-door convertibles. I guess if you picked up that SLK 55 AMG, you would just have all of the 2-door convertibles for the most part.
Yeah, just need a Lambo now.
Yep, and a 350Z drop top, 370Z drop top, Corvette,
370.
some Ferrari Spiders.
Just the one of everything.
Yep.
Never knew I liked convertibles till now.
Oh yeah, here's what I want to know. Hey, it works. Okay, but now the car's probably all dirty because I used those. And it was like perfectly clean until I used the wipers and the sprayers. Well, I think we're making pretty good progress on getting this right back to where it needs to be, optimal OEM shape before we start building it out. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. You want to launch it?
No.
So the next Sky video will be fixing these remotes. You can see they're all cracked and none of the remotes work. Can't wait to get that working.